So we've been asked to write the electric force between charges at some distance, and they told us that the first distance is 5 centimeters, and the force between 2-point charges, so we have Q1 first charge, Q2 second charge, is F. Okay, so knowing the formula to find the electric force between the charges, it's F, it's equal K, which is the constants, Q1 times Q2 divided by the distance squared. So normally we would change this distance into meters, because that's how we're supposed to calculate the distance need to be in meters. But we don't really have to do it right now, because this is only kind of ratio how the force will change if we increase the distance between two charges. So in point A, they're telling us that the distance is 10 centimeters, right? Okay, so let's continue with that then, with the 5. So what we will have in here, this is pretty much what they're telling us. It will be 5, we keep it 5, we should have, but we keep it 5 square, right? So what are we gonna do now? What happened here? So we have a distance 5 centimeters, and now we have 10 centimeters. So what happened and how much this increased? So we can say that to get from 5 centimeters to 10 centimeters, we need to multiply by 2. So we have 2 times 5, the initial distance between the charges, it's our 10 centimeters. And that's how we're gonna write it down right here on the bottom. So that we get force is equal K, this stays the same, this is some kind of constant, this doesn't change, divided by 2 times 5 centimeters square. And now from the properties of taking exponent of some numbers, we know that we can separate those two things. So we can write this as, that's going to be rewriting 1 Q2 divided by 2 to the square times 5 to the square, right? And right here, it's pretty much the same, the initial things, the initial force, right? Force, that's our initial force, right? So how it's changed when the distance change, and that's what I pretty much want to know, how this will, the force, the F will change if we will increase the distance. So this change, and the things that actually is different, it's right there, the part of it here. So 2 square, it's 4. So our F right now will be K Q1 Q2 divided by 4 times 5 square. We're gonna keep this like this, and then again I just want to show you this is our initial things. So if this will be, the whole things will be divided by 4, that means that the force will be 4 times smaller, right? So, or you can write that for A with the distance of 10 centimeters. The force will be divided by 4, because we're going to have only quarter of the force between those two charges, right? Because this, and actually it will, in each case, A, B, C, and O, and C, it will decrease. So you're going to have to do pretty much the same steps. You're going to have to go, what are you doing to this 5 centimeters to get to the distance that they asking you for. So for question B, for question B, we have 15 centimeters, right? The distance, centimeters, no meters. The distance. So how to get from B to from 5 to 15? We're just gonna multiply by 3. and this is our initial one, and then this 3 will be squared, so that would be 9, and it's going to be in the denominator, so that's, you probably should know what it should be, but it's not. So for C, we have the distance is 2.5 centimeters, and what happened to 5? How to get from 5 to, from the initial distance to 2.5 centimeters? We need to kind of divide it by 2. And those problems, you did it before. This is a little bit different approach. So let's do the new one. Will be the initial one. We're going to divide it by 2. Or in the other words, we're going to, the initial one right here, multiply, divided by 2, it's like multiplying by 1/2, and that will be more helpful for you. So now you're going to have to do the 1/2, you're going to have to square it. So it's going to be 1/4, and then you're going to be having kind of a double fraction here, and you should know what you should do. And you know from pretty much everything what we learn about electric force, you should know that if the distance going, if you separate these charges more, the force it's decreasing, and if you get them closer, the force should increase, right? Hopefully that helps. If you still need some help, please let me know and I will help you out.